Y'all ready? You all ready? And Selena, let's chat a little later. I have some thoughts on your video that you sent me. Uh, Freaking amazing it is. And yeah, just have some ideas to possibly make it better. Possibly. So, desire, the starting point of all achievement, the first step towards riches. If the first step is towards riches is desire, what step are you on? Just saying. So, how do we? These are my notes. These are my notes. How do we learn to think like a king? So we'll have to see where that says. Okay. Okay, so it's right here in the first paragraph. Edward C. Barnes climbed down from the freight train in Orange, New Jersey more than 30 years ago. He may have resembled a tramp, but his thoughts, italicized, his thoughts were those of a king. As he made his way from the railroad tracks to Thomas Edison's office, his mind was at work. He saw himself standing in Edison's presence. He heard himself asking Mr. Edison for an opportunity to carry out one consuming obsession of his life, Burns's life, a burning desire to become the business associate with the great inventor. Barnes' desire was not hope. It was not a wish. It was a keen, pulsating desire which transcended everything. It was definite. Let me ask you this. This is my notes. How old is your desire? How old is your desire? Is it new? Is it a new idea? Here's the question. Because if it doesn't have any age, it's not as old as you are, because otherwise you'd be achieving it. That's the part that kind of hurts a little bit. Well, I have this desire, and if you forgot about it in the last 2 hours, if it's not part of your DNA, not part of your cellular system, it is not very old. You've got to start again. And this is where most people suffer. They start again. They've got to start again. They got to start again. And they start again so many times that they go, you know what, I'm just going to start something new. And that's even more challenging when you want to build your desire. So, with that understanding, it's critical to become aware of how valuable a focused desire is, your definite major purpose. Here's another note that I have. When your desire, because your desire is not your goal. I need you to hear that. I need you to become aware of that. Your desire is not your goal. When your desire comes in contact with your goal, is it ready to bend to that energy and that will? Or does your desire lack confidence? Right there's a pretty big secret. Right? I don't know what date, I don't know which version of this, how many times I've read the book. All right, that's what I'm going to start doing. Instead of putting the color down, I'm going to start when I highlight stuff, when I go through it again. Because even now, when I'm going through it, this is probably the 63rd time I'm reading it. Because sometimes I read it a couple of times a year. Anyways, that's a side note. But just I'll put down which version of it I'm reading. So yeah, when your desire comes in contact with your goal, how does your desire come in contact with your goal? What happens when your desire comes in contact with your goal? Think about it this way. If you've ever had children or you were ever a child, when your desire of discipline comes in contact with their will of disobedience, and it may not be disobedience, they may just not know better. They may not have had enough experience yet, right? When they're children and they do childish stuff and we think, oh my gosh, what were they doing? What were you doing? What were you thinking? Right? When your desire for discipline meets their desire to be undisciplined, what happens? That is, to me right now, is a perfect example of what happens when your goal meets your desire. Your goal, here's the hard part. Here's the hard part. Your goal is to stay the same. No, it's not. I have dreams. I have wants. I have wishes. How are they working for you? Are you going along at an incremental snail's pace of growth in your goal? It's because your desire has no power. Your desire has no energy. Your desire has no influence over you because you are too worried about strategy versus state. Desire is state. Desire is signal. And when you come across this real world challenge, this thing that you've got written down in your journal, right? You've got written down in your journal and you're like, okay, so that's what I want. That's my goal. That's my goal. And you need desire to get to that goal. And when your desire meets that goal, your desire gets pummeled, gets crushed. It turns into procrastination. It turns into frustration. It turns into I'm not good enough. It turns into all of these objections you have for reaching this goal. Oh, and that happens quietly when you're by yourself. See, we make big decisions at big events when we're with a community, when we're with individuals, other individuals who are like-minded like us. It's the ability to have discipline. Your goals have more discipline to keep you stuck than your desire has to get you unstuck. So turning the page, the dominating dream of his life, Edward C. Barnes, because I'm skipping around. I'm just skipping through this. I'm going to where my notes are most valuable because this is kind of for me too. Well, it's kind of for me a lot because you can read the book. The words are there. The words haven't changed in 60 years that I've been reading it. Well, actually, in 42 years I've been reading it. Barnes succeed. They see him in the days of his triumph without the trouble of investigating the cause of his success. Most people today, people know Barnes and envy him because of the break life yielded him. Life doesn't yield you any breaks. You make your own breaks. Barnes succeeded because he chose a definite goal and placed all his energy, all his willpower, and all his effort and everything back of that goal. He did not become the partner of Edison the day he arrived. Some of us, because of this, how should I say it, this microwave society, this microwave intentions that we have, we want to become successful today. And then we say, well, I've been doing it. Here's the thing my dad always used to say. There's a lot of people with 20 years experience. It's the same year 20 times over. They only have 1 year of experience. Some of you only have 1 year of experience. You got 30, 40 years of doing it. You only got 1 year experience. And you've got to decide that that is not serving you enough. And when you decide to expand into the new, into the realm, into the unknown, you got to go with your ego saying, I don't know if this is going to work. I know that I have the desire to make it work. But if you go thinking it's going to work, it ain't. And you're going to get depressed and you're going to go do something else. You're going to shift your mind. You will not work on the first time. And you know what the problem is for those that it does work on the first time? They can't do it again. And then all the problem is, well, I made the success, but now I can't do it again. And now depression comes in because the next time they stumble and they think they got the answer and it was just blind luck. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. It don't work that way. It's why if I'm going to, two things I do. If I'm going to work with somebody wants me to help them have more, I ask them, what's your biggest failure? And they tell me, oh, my biggest failure is this. And I do my best not to giggle because that ain't a failure. That's you scratched your toe. That's not a failure. You haven't even seen failure yet. Then if I'm going to have somebody work for me, meaning I'm going to go work with them and they're going to guide me, teach me, mentor me, I ask them, what's your biggest failure? And they say, well, I haven't had a lot of failures. Next. I want to know your biggest absolutely muck up. I want to know how you just absolutely went sideways down a cavern almost never to be found again. I want to know your biggest failure. And if it's not as big as a failure I've had, you can't help me. Because I'm about to go have some pretty big failures, pretty big opportunities to say, well, that didn't work. Isn't that fascinating? And until you have those, until you're working with somebody who's absolutely skinned their teeth, lost it all, you're just going to be stumbling around. You're going to be around people who are above average and not excellent. And they're going to be stumbling around and they're not going to be able to motivate you. You're going to listen. There's this thing that happens when we get into groups. We get into groups of people who say, listen, if you don't complain or if you don't point out my shortcomings, I won't point out yours, but we will cheer each other on. And that doesn't do any good. How many communities are out there? How many absolute freaking communities are out there that nobody's winning, nobody's succeeding, nobody is accelerating? Oh, they may be having average luck, but none of you were put here to be average. You read the books, you buy the tapes, you go to the things, and then you don't do the work. It's your fault. Congratulations. Where you're at, it's your thought. And then if it's your thought, well, but I'm around all these people. You're either letting them influence you. You're either letting them influence you to stay stuck, or you're trying to match their signal, and you matching their signal doesn't work. This is called the hero's journey. Now, Campbell hadn't written his book yet, The 1,000 Faces. But the hero's journey has always existed. The hero's journey has existed in mythology long before written word. So the first thing is answering the call. All of these books are about answering the call. All of these books are about answering the call. Desire, answering the call. Writing out your goals, answering the call. Definite major purpose, answering the call. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way, answering the call. What happens when Joseph Campbell's story, the hero's journey, the 13 steps, the second step is refusal of the call. Oh, well, you got to go back to desire. You got to go back to writing out your goals. You got to go back. Yeah, I get it. But what happens the second you hit that refusal of the call? It happens to all of us. And here's the challenge: is we start to blame comp plans. We blame owners. We blame people. We blame economies. Answering the call is going to happen. Well, you can't. There's no reason to lose your power. That's a story. That's how the enemy attacks us. Is they go, well, you're not strong enough. If you know it's coming here, and here's why you want to understand how many failures people have had. They can tell you it's coming. When I work with some of you one-on-one and I say, hey, listen, the fact that you just recentered, reorganized, activated your archetypes, did all of these things for you, with you, through you, here's the challenge. You're about to get attacked in this way. Well, I mean, now that I have this clarity, it's not going to happen. Oh, the heck it ain't. It's coming. And the bigger your goal, the bigger the attack. The bigger the I don't know what to do. The bigger the goal, the more we want to ask other people. Nobody can guide you to your goal. It's your hero's journey. And if they're trying to tell you what to do, you're going to be stuck in the refusal of the call for a long time. Well, how do I get around that? How is not the question. I'll give you the answer. The way you get around that is you keep your desire burning. You keep writing your goals. You spend every waking moment. I'm enough. I'm in this. Whatever the story is. Barnes didn't ride that train from wherever he got on it to East Orange, New Jersey, and say, I wonder if I'm going to get to meet Edison. I wonder if I'm going to get I wonder how I'm going to get off of the train and get to Edison's place, because I don't even have money. I barely had money for the train ride for this to go blind baggage. I wonder how I'm going to get to the Edison factory. And then when I get there, I wonder if I need to put none of that. Some of you have such great strategies on your failure. It's amazing. It looks beautiful. You got great strategies on your failure. You got all of the things you're going to do. And not one of them is going to work. I know that sounds a little bold. It sounds a little pain in the ashes. The reason it's not going to work is because if you knew how it was going to work, you'd already be doing it. It's a good guide. It'll get you there. It'll get you into the arena where you get to now play and add the reality of what you need to do. It's why we have to set our intentions first thing every morning. It's why you should wake up. It's why you could wake up. It's why I would offer you a chance to wake up and say your 100 thank yous. Immediately write out your goals. Immediately figure out, write down what your mind has told you, what the universe has told you, what your dreams have told you, what talent, skill, or resource did you need to work on? Because if you didn't ask that last night, you're lost. You're left out. You're done. You're repeating. You're groundhog daying. If you didn't ask the universe, what talent, skill, or resource do I need? It'll pop into your mind the first thing in the morning. Oh, I got to do. You'll get ideas. This is how the ether works. What you want, where you want it, when you want it is all in the ether, as close as your skin. The challenge is you've got to redo your identity. You've got to make up your new identity. He went from a poverty visual to a king's mind. Some of you won't adapt a king's mindset or queen's mindset, a sovereign mindset. Well, I don't want to be too big. I don't want to be too pushy. Listen, you're getting your butt kicked. You're getting shoved around by ideas and memes and social media and all of this stuff. Here's a big question for you. You've had so much of the world given to you. And when I say that, do you know how to go get your own food? Do you know how to purify water? Like if all of a sudden the city water went bad and the electricity went out and you couldn't turn on the stove or the microwave. Do you know how to go make clean water? See, there's so many of us who lack the fundamentals of just basic survival that we have been taught we need to survive on. I need to do memes. I need to do this. I need to do this. Why not understand how to be a good human to another good human? Asking them what they want. The challenge is that they're so wound up tight in their own beliefs that you're like, well, I don't want to fight them. I don't want to argue with them. I'll just join them. How's that working for you? Just asking. Okay, so next page. What is my all-in mission / desire? What's your all-in mission? What's your all-in desire? I mean, all in, you're just, that's it. You got one? You have it? I would be curious to see. He didn't say I'll go there and work for a few months, and if I get no encouragement, I'll quit and get a job somewhere else. He did say I'll start anywhere. I'll do anything Edison tells me to do. But before I'm through, I will be his associate. He didn't say I'll keep my eyes open for another opportunity in case I fail to get what I want in the Edison organization. He said, there's but one thing in this world that I am determined to have, and that is a business association with Thomas A. Edison. I will burn all bridges. See, some of you light the match. You never throw it on the fire. You say you're going to do it. You say you're going to do it. You never do it. I'll burn all bridges behind me and stake my entire future on my ability to get what I want. He left himself no possible way of retreat. He had to win or perish. That's all there is to Barnes' success story. A long while ago, a great warrior faced a situation. He made it necessary for him to make a decision which ensured the success of his on the battlefield. He was about to send his armies against a powerful foe whose men outnumbered his own. What did he do? He loaded his soldiers into boats, sailed to the enemy's countries, unloaded the soldiers, unloaded the equipment, and then gave the order to burn the ships that he carried with him, that carried them. Addressing the men before the first battle, he said, "You see the boats going up in smoke. That means we cannot leave these shores alive unless we win. We now have no choice to win or we perish." And they won. What are the boats you must burn? So page 56. If you tell me you fail or associated with failure, you will never become rich. Failure transforms into learning. If you tell me you fail or associate with failure, Bob Proctor used to say, if you don't want to be sick, don't hang around sick people. If you don't want to be poor, don't talk about poor money. Poor money is I don't have it. Poor money is everything's expensive. That's what poor money says. I need more. That's what poor money says. Can you speak rich money? It's all vibration. It's all vibration. Every human being who reaches the age of understanding of purpose, understanding of the purpose of money, wishes for it. Wishing will not bring wishes, but desiring wishes with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence does not recognize failure. A persistence which does not recognize failure will bring riches. Do you understand the purpose of money? Tell me the difference between wishing and desiring for it. I can tell you 98% of the population wish for money. 98%. How do I know? Because about 98% of the people struggle with income. They just don't quite seem to get over the edge and have enough and be taken care of. 2%, 3% desire money. We have names for them. The elite, the rich, they don't know, they don't, whatever it is. Too many people wish for money. The people you're about to go prospect, the people you're about to offer a solution, wish for the solution you have. They don't desire it. Because if they desired it and your signal was clear, your frequency was clear, and you said to them, you ready to get started? They'd say, yep, let's go. If their signal was clear and they desired the result, they didn't wish for it, and you show up and say, ready to get going? They'd say, yeah, let's go. How many of you have ever gotten in a car with a friend and you knew you had to go somewhere? You ready to go? Yep, let's go. It wasn't a discussion how long it's going to be. You know it's going to be a long butt trip. You didn't ask, did you have gas? Do we have enough food? Do we have sandwiches? Do we have sandwiches? When are we going to eat? When are we going to stop? What's the next step? What's the weather like? You've had those moments where you had absolute confidence in the other person that was with you. You ready to go? Yep, let's go. That's it. That's the only discussion you needed. Do you know why we have to do compensation plan trainings and we got to do business opportunity meetings? Because our signal is off. They weren't lying when they said in network marketing, the only reason you go to a meeting is to re-enroll yourself. Anybody ever hear that? Drop an R in the chat. If you've ever heard the reason you go to an event is to re-enroll yourself into the meeting. If that's the case, then what the hell are you? Why did you join in the first place if you got to re-enroll at every event? That's how they get you to come to the event. That's how they say it's okay for you to wish. You should wish that this thing is successful. Why do you need to re-enroll yourself? So you've never made a commitment? So what you're saying is if you use Joseph Campbell's expression, you've answered the call, and then you got to go to the meeting because you refused the call between now and the last meeting. Do you understand the purpose of money? It is not to pay bills. It is an exchange. It is a transference of exchange for what you want. The reason you don't have more money is because you don't know what you want. Period. Simple. End of story. I can tell you how I know this is that whenever you got your back against the wall and you didn't have money and you needed this, you wound up with the money. You had an emergency. You don't know how you're going to pay for it. You paid for it. You may have borrowed, begged, stole, rented, whatever, but you got it. You understand how to get money when your chips are against the wall. I don't know why we have to wait for that. So the method by which desires for riches can be right here it is, page 57. Here's the 6 steps. Here's the 6 steps in desire. If you're not doing these daily, and I can tell you you're suffering. I don't know how much you're suffering. I can tell you sure as heck aren't having what you want. So here's the right here, page 57 in this book that I got. Oh, by the way, it's in this book too. This is the original, right? This is not the original. It's the one I got back in 65, 85, 84, right? So let's see here. There's faith, there's desire. Oh, look, page 36 in this book. Here's the 6 steps. Page 57 in this book, there's the 6 steps. The 6 steps haven't changed. They've always been available to you. Here they are, first step. Yes, I get frustrated because it's all right here. Why don't we just do what's right here? Well, no, I got to listen to this latest internet guru, this latest IG guru who's got all of this stuff. This is what works. Anyways. First step, fix your mind on the exact amount of money you desire. It may not be sufficient. It is not sufficient to merely say, I want a lot of money. Be definite about the money. There's a psychological reason for definiteness, which will be described in subsequent factors. So number 1, write down the money. Write it down. Write down the money. How much money do you want? Year from now is great. End of the year is cool. But a year from now, because the reason that you put down the amount of money is so that you have a measuring stick of who you need to become. It's never about the money. It's about who you become on the journey to the money. Right? In the Bible, there's a phrase that says, don't ask me where it is. I am not a Bible scholar. I just know that somebody said it. I liked it. And I repeat it a lot. On the way to. On the way to what? To your dreams. To your dreams or your nightmares. See, right now, you are on the way to your dreams or your nightmares. Period. End of story. You are on the way to your joy or misery, as said Guru would say. Number 1, fixed amount. 2, determine exact. This is where 99% of the people fail, not struggle, fail. Number 2, there's 6 steps. Number 2, they fail at. It's going to be hard to do 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 2, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for your desire. There's no such thing as something for nothing. Well, I'll do posts every day. Okay. Did you do them every day? Did you do them every day? Did you write out your goals every morning? Oh, it's like a lot. Really? That's going to be your excuse? Well, I don't do that stuff. Okay. Next. That's it. Number 1, number 2. People can't get past number 2. What are you going to do exactly? Now, it will adapt. It will adopt. It will shift. It will change. It'll be something new by the time it's over. The reason you have to start is so you can put your focus on the energy and you can begin to do what Waddle says, do things in a certain way. Number 3, establish a definite date you intend to possess the money by. December 31st, 2025, August 14th, 2026. What's your number? We're creating a definite major purpose right now. What you did in the past, it's over. You can't fix it. I can't go back and unring a bell. It's done. We got to start right now. So I would encourage you to start today. 4, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, right now, in this moment, begin at once, whether you're ready or not, to put this plan into action. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do today? What are you going to start? Brian Tracy would say there's only 4 things you could do. Start something, stop something, do a little more of something, do a little less of something. So what would you stop? What would you start? What would you do more of? What would you do less of? Those are the only 4 things you could do. It's not complicated. I don't know why we complicate it so much. Number 5, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate. I have this program I want to offer people. It's going to be $97. Okay. What's the benefit? Well, they're going to get this, 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 and this. Really? How do you know they're going to get that? Well, that's what I got. What do they want? I don't know. What are you going to do to acquire people who want to investigate it? You can offer the thing for sale. What are you going to do for the people, for the 98% who aren't going to buy on the first time? What's the thing you're going to offer them? Where's the community you're going to provide them? What's the resume they're going to go search the internet for on the success of this program? Well, I haven't done it yet. Okay, so why are you offering people, why are you forcing people to become a guinea pig when they have no clue? There's not a single testimonial of what you've done. There's not a single video of what you've done, what you're talking about. You've not given them any confidence to overcome their fear of shifting their identity. Every one of you is about to shift the identity of anyone you come in contact with, right? I mean, I think you are. Aren't you going to shift the identity for them to have more of what they want? You know how big of a shift that is for people, and you have there's no evidence, there's no value, you have no confidence, you don't even believe you're going to shift their values. You don't even believe what you have to offer them is good. You know how I know it? Because they hear it in your voice. They see it in your mannerisms. Let me ask you, when you did your last video, when you did your last interview, when you did your last one-on-one conversation, Zoom or otherwise, how many times did you smile? Go back and look at it. Count. How many times did you smile during the presentation? How many times did your energy allow you to smile? I'll let you in on a little secret. You go play your video with the volume off and tell me if you get excited. Number 5, write out a clear, right? We just talked about 6, read your statement aloud twice a day. See, if you get through 2 and you get through 3, which most people don't, and if you happen to be this wildly crazy cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, desirable, built with energy, fired up, ready to go, do you read it twice a day aloud? And as you read, see and feel, right? Can you turn? It's all right there. There's the 6 steps. You don't need anything else. You don't need anything else. Do those 6 steps. Do them. Do them with such enthusiasm, such power, and then come back to me in 5 months and tell me it doesn't work. Doesn't work, I'll write you a check. I'll write you a check. It's important that you follow the instructions described in these 6 steps. It is especially important that you observe and follow the instructions in the 6th paragraph. You may complain that it is impossible for you to see yourself in possession of a money, right? This is a little Italian class that we're doing here. In possession of the money before you actually have it. Here is where burning desire will come to your aid. If you truly desire money so keenly that your desire is an obsession, you will have no difficulty convincing yourself you will acquire it. Who's doing the convincing and who needs to be convinced? If you're sitting in a room by yourself talking to yourself. Do you realize that? This is the multiple personalities that we have inside of us. We are not alone in our mind. If you have to have burning desire to convince you that you should deserve money, that who's thinking you don't deserve the money? This is your self-talk. This is your neuroencoding. This is how you were programmed about money, about people, about things. I got lots of notes on these pages. Desire. Okay, this was my own for something here at a desire retreat. Create, establish working formula and accountability. What difficulty is it you have to overcome? What difficulty is it that you have to overcome to achieve your desire? Consistency, discipline. What is it you have to overcome to use those 6 steps? The 6 steps are right there. He gave it to you right in the first part of the book. He gave it to you on page 36 in this book. 36 pages in, you got the secret to success. 100% the secret to your success. Now, the rest of the pages are maybe to inspire an idea that oh my gosh, that would be the thing that my marketplace needs. To the uninitiated, okay, wait a second. Let me go back here because I got stuff underlined. If you truly desire money so keenly that your desire is an obsession, underlined, you will have no difficulty convincing yourself you will acquire it. The object is to want money. The object is to want money and to become so determined to have it that you convince yourself you will have it. Only those who become money conscious ever accumulate riches. Money consciousness means that the mind has become so thoroughly saturated with the desire for money. What do they usually say then? Money is the root of all evil? They become so money conscious. They have money consciousness. That means the mind has become so thoroughly saturated with desire for the money that one can see oneself already in possession to it. Here's what it goes on to say. This is for the people who are reading this book. To the uninitiated, who have not been schooled in the working principles of the human mind, these instructions may appear to be impractical. It may be helpful to all who fail to recognize the soundness of the 6 steps to know that the information they convey was received from Andrew Carnegie, who began as an ordinary laborer in the steel mills, but managed, despite his humble beginning, to make the principles yield him a fortune of considerably more than $100 million. It may be of further help to know that these 6 steps here recommended were carefully scrutinized by the late Thomas A. Edison, who placed his stamp of approval upon them as being not only the steps essential for accumulating money, but necessary for the attainment of any goal, any definite goal. These steps call for no hard labor. Did you see any? You got to dig a ditch, you got to work 20 hours a day. Did you see any of that in there in those 6 steps? I didn't see that. These steps call for no hard labor. They call for no sacrifice. There's no sacrifice. You got to go kill a chicken. It didn't call for any sacrifice. Didn't say you got to change religions, break up with your spouse. Didn't say that. They do not require one to become ridiculous or credulous. To apply them calls for no great amount of education. But the successful application of these 6 steps does call for sufficient imagination to enable one to see, visualization, and to understand that the accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, cannot be left to good fortune, and cannot be left to luck. One must realize that all who have accumulated great fortunes one must realize, I get so excited. One must realize that all who have accumulated great riches, great fortunes, first did a certain amount of dreaming, hoping, wishing, desiring, and planning before they acquired the money. You may well know right now that you can never have riches in great quantities unless you can work yourself into a white heat of desire for money. I remember the first time I was reading this, I was like, what are they talking about? 40 years ago, I remember reading this, and what, white hot burning desire? What the hell? Now, I was living on a farm. I knew what white hot meant. When you heat up metal with a torch, sometimes we would have to heat up bolts and different things to either break them free or do different things when in the assembly of things. You can get them red, you can get them hot blue, and then you can get them white hot. White hot is hot. Hot, baby, hot. I knew what that meant. I didn't know what that meant internally. How do you burn yourself up? You're burning away fear and doubt. All right, I'm going to end there. Otherwise, I'll just keep going and keep going. So we're going to end right there. Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways? What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Silke.
It's not saying Silke, but again, how are you this morning?
Outstanding.
Glad to hear that. So how do you burn away fear and doubt?
You get focused on what you want. When you I'm trying to think of an example that might work for you. When you're teaching grammar, you don't teach poetry.
No, I don't even like poetry. I'm sorry.
My point is that if you got to teach the thing that one of your students needs to learn, you got to teach them that before they can go any farther. There's some fundamentals. So
Yes.
the
Yes.
white hot burning desire is the same thing. I've got to do, well, how do I get white hot burning desire? You've got to go do the tasks. You've got to write out your goals every day. They've got to become part of your DNA. Right now, they're not part of your DNA. They're not part of your cell system. You got to write it out. You got to listen to it. You got to listen to self-talk. You've got to burn away everything else. And what happens is that everything else is the identity that we currently have. Here's what I would offer you. Here's the shift I would like you to become aware of. If for some reason somebody said, if you understood poetry and if you could speak about poetry a year from now and get on stage and be this laureate of poetry and you'll get $10 million a year for the rest of your life, would you start to learn poetry?
Yes, I would.
And you would. And the reason is because somebody is guaranteeing you the success. And you're like, I don't even like this. I don't like it, but I'll learn to like it. I'll learn to change the way I look at things. So the things I look at change. Every one of your successes, not just yours, Silkas, every one of you that's listening to this in the recording, in Zoom land, in YouTube land, and wherever this video is found you, every one of your desires is for as much money as you want, as fast as you want it. The only thing holding you back is your ability to stop doing the things that are the distraction. And so therefore, the reason that they refer to as the white hot burning desire, if you've ever seen a fire and it's just the coals, and it's those coals that if you walk up to them, they're hot, you threw something, you threw a paper on there, you threw a cardboard on there, it would burst into flame. The coals do not look hot. They are radiating heat. They don't look hot. We know they're hot because we've been burned by one. When your doubt shows up and somebody throws at you, throws cold water, a wet blanket, whatever it is, they say you're not good enough. I don't know why you keep struggling, blah, blah, blah. Your white hot burning desire, when you have it in place, that stuff hits you and it just burns up. It doesn't exist. Nobody can get you upset when you have a hot burning desire. Nobody can make you feel bad when you have a hot burning desire. When you are so sure about what it is you want, that you want it, when you want it, how you want it, and you're going to go for it, and you're okay when it comes differently, because if you knew how to get it, you'd already get it. So the way you burn it up is you got to start doing the things that light the fire, that build the kindling. You got to put the little sticks down. The little sticks you got to put on the fire that you're going to start burning is you're going to start writing down my goals every day. What do you want? You wake up and you write out your goals. Doesn't have to be the 17 paragraphs. It should be at least 3 or 4 sentences. It slows down the brain. It does it. You've then got to ask yourself, you got to check in every hour. Am I doing it? Did I move closer towards that or farther away? Most people set a goal, right? There's a phrase they say, people die at 21, we bury them at 65. They're dead inside. They don't have their dreams. They go along just doing stuff and complaining about things, and they hang around other people that complain about things and doing stuff. And between sitting together, they sound great on a bus. They all feel comfortable on the bus. But the point is that how do you start the white hot burning desire? You got to start a fire. You can't go from 0 to white hot burning desire instantly. Nothing goes that way. Nothing goes that way. You want to start a fire and get some coals to heat up and make your s'mores later on? You got to start with the kindling. You got to start with the paper. You got to start with lighting a match. You got to keep it. You got to keep the flame going. Most of you aren't keeping the flame. You're not even lighting the fire. You're not even putting the sticks down. You put the big stick down. You're like, okay, here, you put down this huge log. If I get that to burn, it'll last a long time. You're right. I don't know how you're going to get that green idea of a piece of wood lit. It's a huge piece of hickory and it's green. You just cut it down. You just fabricated this idea. You're going, I'm going to put this all together and this is going to work. Oh, and you'll burn the bark on the outside. You'll get it to light, but you're not doing the basic fundamentals. The fundamentals are, is you got to start with the basics. And the basics are, wake up every morning. Did you write out your and this is, I'm not asking, I'm asking everybody. Did you write out your gratitudes today? What are you grateful for? Did you write out your 10 blessings, your 10 gratitude blessings? Did you set your intentions for the day? What's your word for the day? Is it in alignment with your word for the year? The reason I can ask you all of this is because I do this daily. And some days I don't want to do it. I really don't want to write out my 10 blessings, and I get very cheesy on it. I love water because water is good for me and it helps me wash the right. And you just like you read it back later and you look at it and you go, wow, you're a real jackass that day. But you got to do it. You got to do it every day. You got to do it every day because you miss a day, you are absolutely just you're gonna have to start over. So how do you get the white hot burning desire? You got to build, you got to do the boring stuff. You got to write out your goals every morning. You got to write out what rank you're going to be at in your business. You got to write out how many two people are going to join you in business today. Well, I don't know two people. That's where the white hot burning desire takes over. You don't have to know. You are worried about strategy when you need to be in state. What would it feel like when they sign up? Because they can't sign up if the energy's not there. So how do you get the white hot burning desire? Write out your goals, do your blessings, set your intentions every morning, every morning, every morning.
Got it.
Yep. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too. Hey, let's go to Serbia.
Dobro jutro,
Dobro jutro. Hvala.
kako si?
Kako si?
So you respond with izvanredno.
Izvanredno.
Yeah, sir, that's right. You're outstanding. Hey, look at this guy. This guy's fresh today.
Good.
And this is what I found.
Oh, good.
Look at this one. This is in leather kind of setting. So I was wondering, you went to the steps. I found them in the book.
Yeah.
I can read, by the way. I'm
Yeah.
not only looking at the pictures, I can read.
Yep, good.
So when you said determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire.
Yep.
Establish a date. Okay, create a definite plan. So that's planning, and then what we do on a daily basis, those are basically intentions, right?
When you say we, meaning you editorially or us as a group?
Me.
Yeah. No. Yes. Your intention today is on the plan you've set out. What is your intention for your plan today?
Meaning the actions I will take to progress. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, actions or strategies. What is your intention allows the flexibility of the universe to go, I can do it better. What's your intention? What's the vibration you want today? Intention is vibration. Action plan is the strategy. What is the intention you want today? My goal is to serve people. My goal is to what?
To put it to perspective with my business, sometimes I get carried away because when you manage money, it gets tough sometimes emotionally.
Yep.
So I can say that my action is that I will do my charting session, and then my intention is to.
That's strategy. How do you want to feel when you're done with working with managing your money today?
Also, that's the intention. Okay.
So how do you want to feel?
How do you phrase? I don't want to feel overwhelmed because I made an emotionally stupid decision.
Excellent. So how do you want to feel?
I want to feel confident that I did the work today that I should have done.
Excellent. So
regardless of the result.
So is confident the ultimate feeling? When you make money, who benefits?
A lot of people.
Okay. So the three people do. If you felt confident, would that change their life?
Probably not.
So what's the feeling you see here? We're creating new neural networks in your brain right now. That's why you just look going, where the hell in my brain am I?
No, it's because I'm getting the stroke.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you want the feeling to be when you're done with, how long are you going to work on your money? Typically 2 hours, hour, 5 hours.
I spend probably around 2 hours charting a day.
Okay. Yeah. So at the end of 2 hours, how do you want to feel? What would be the vibration? You know, in the movie The Secret, when you have that feeling, when you pick up the feeling, it goes, when you see it go all the way around the world, what feeling do you want to go all the way around your community, into your family, into your cousins, your nieces and nephews, into your business partners? What's the feeling you want them to have?
Abundance.
So when you get done with so now this is the business class conversation. You can have abundance And simply by you wanting abundance, you accepting abundance, you working towards abundance, everyone around you gets abundance. Not everyone needs confidence. They could use abundance, though. Isn't confidence part of abundance?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now at the end of this, you are working to live in an abundant world for myself and for it to cascade down to others.
And that's regardless of the P&L at the end of trading hours.
Because didn't you learn, didn't you have an abundant lesson if the money went the way you didn't expect? When you, let me ask you this, when you have it not go your way, do you learn something?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much of learning is available to you? Let me ask you this. What, if I were to ask you to give me two boxes, one box is everything you know, and the other box is everything you don't know, which box is bigger?
The latter.
Yeah, everything you don't know. So isn't that where
Yeah.
true abundance is, and everything you don't know? Because your life is finite. Nobody wants what you got. We want what you're dreaming of. So I don't need you confident. I need you in abundance. And there's an abundance of everything. So this is where signal comes in. What you think about and think about, you bring about. This is why your energy is so absolutely critical. So if you stay in abundance, and what's available in abundance? Everything. All of the negative and all of the positive. I choose, right? The devil said in Outwitting the Devil, I'm half of everything. You can't avoid me. So you're going to have some days where you have opportunities to go, wow, what a great lesson. And then when all the money comes in, you go, wow, what a great lesson. Aren't you always learning? There's no negative. That's just a learning. One you enjoy to learn a lot more of than another one, but it's abundance of learning.
Yeah, especially when a couple of $1,000s goes down the drain. You love that learning session.
But a couple of thousands a lot better than a couple of million.
That's true.
Today, there'll be days where it will be a couple of million.
Oh yeah,
What
I hear
happens?
those guys.
What happens on the day when it's a couple of million? And they're like, okay, we're not broke. We're not homeless. We just lost a couple million. We'll make it back.
That's crazy.
I was listening to John Daly, the golfer, talk about he was going up to a PGA Open, and somebody came in and he liked this particular course because you could drive around back and you get out of your car and go right into the hotel. And there was a casino there, and Greg Norman says, hey, listen, come gambling with us. Now, Daly had just made $150,000 on some slot machines. And he walked in, and him and Greg Norman and this other person, and the other person was the one spending all the money, inside of 3 hours lost $8.2 million. And they said, well, I'll write you a check for credit. And the hotel said, the casino said, oh, we don't do checks, we do cash. Okay. So he gave him more cash. He went and found more cash and gave him more cash. And the next day he played, and he took the casino for $52 million. He lost 8.2 on Thursday. Friday, he made 52 million from the casino. And the casino said, we'll write your check. He goes, I'm sorry, I don't do checks. Right? He played back to them exactly what they had to go borrow money from other casinos to give him his 52 million in cash. My point is that state is state. They're stepping stones. $8 million. Oh my God, I'd be freaking out. My home. He went back and won 52 million. Do you think if 8 million really bothered him, you'd ever win the 52? Do you realize every one of you, what's bothering you is keeping you from your winnings? Because your frequency is absolutely can you drop an ice cube in a pot of boiling water and it stop? If the boil ain't rolling, if it ain't a full-on, hard-on boil, one ice cube could stop it. You got a pot full of water. You ever throw in spaghetti? Spaghetti's not cold. Spaghetti's spaghetti. How the hell does spaghetti stop a boil? Because it sucks up all the heat. Your negative thinking, everyone, is sucking up all of your heat. And you wonder, like, why am I never boiling? I can tell you why. You won't want to hear it, but I can tell you why. It's your one thought, your one doubt, your one delay. It's causing you a lifetime of delays. And then we ask, well, how do I fix that? I don't know how you fix it. My question is, why would you want to fix it? When you figure out why you'd want to fix it, the how goes away. When the why is big enough, the how do not matter. What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Thank you. Thank you. I learned that I might go down to the supermarket, buy some razors, cut me out of my own misery. Uh, it is.
And youth,
This is what
listen, here's
downloading.
the great news. You're going through it literally like a grinding machine because of youth. You don't have enough experience to go, you know what? You're right. You've had a lot of experience. You can only have so much experience. Even if it was full on 100% every day, you can still only have 24 years experience. You may have lived 3 lifetimes compared to your friends. You've only lived 24 years, period. Been in a meat grinder since you were born? Great, still only 24 years of a meat grinder. You can't have 50 years of a meat grinder in 24. You just can't. It's called experience, not called youth. It's your age that's keeping you, that's allowing you. But you sitting here in the mornings, who else is sitting here doing this? And then putting it to work and getting a gun and like, oh my gosh, I got to go fight this battle, but I got to stitch up all this stuff from the morning.
You know what? I had a conversation with the female owner last night. I was driving her back home, and she said,
Svetlana.
"Never gonna guess the name." However, you are improving. You finally learned my age on the first try, so you are improving. Okay,
Good. Good.
I'm just gonna teach you their names so you can have that as well.
Yes.
And anyhow, she saw me working last night. I was going through some conversations. I think I sent you a message. I was going through shame loops again. I was studying that
Yes.
material again.
Yep.
Yeah. And she saw me working for multiple hours, and she said, "Well, is that the thing that you do with that Sean guy?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, she looks at me and she goes, "That guy is really something." And I say, "Yeah." And she said, "He does a lot of things for you." And I said, "Yeah." So I guess what I learned last night and what I relearned today is that I really did good in life when I took your teachings or your projection of this teaching, which Think and Grow Rich, so your arrangement of it, when I took it upon myself in complete blind faith, things worked out good. Dare I even say outstanding at times. So I guess what I learned, and especially when we talked about desire today, I told you yesterday when we talked about it as well. I remember when I was 18, 19, just coming up in the sales team,
Mhm.
I didn't know it. I didn't know jack diddly about any of this. I just knew that I had a white hot burning desire to I wanted to make money so bad. That was the only thing I thought about every single day, even up to the point where my nephew was born, and I've seen him probably half a dozen times in 6 months. I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing else but making money. And I guess you showed me how to do that 5 years ago. And I guess what I learned today, actually what I become aware of today, is that I really do need to go back to my old ways, quote unquote, and just cut the BS, man, and just take what you say to me up on blind faith and just do it. Because the last time I did, it got me to this point today. So I guess that's what I learned.
I love
Thank,
it.
thank you.
I'll go get my seatbelt. I'll
Thank you,
buckle
thank
it.
you, thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Love you, man. Thank you.
Oh, you're
Selena.
back.
Good morning.
Good morning, my love.
This call was something else.
Hold, please. I think you muted. Yes, you did. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Hang on.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Good.
I was laughing majority of the call because when it's like tickling your soul and you're just hearing all the things that you already know and you're like back in the same seat of where you're meant to be. And you see the patterns of when you drift away and then you come back. And what was so interesting was that this morning when I woke up, I walked to the park and then I sat down and I started to journal. And I pretty much was doing a timeline of from the moment that I really stepped into my purpose, my calling, which was 2019 till 2025. I did a timeline of each year and what like the main significant things that I went through in each of those years. And you talking about the fire was super symbolic because each year I could see when I started to like gather my wood and put the wood down. And then I would see the different loops and patterns of when I would walk away from the fire. Or I would like really be super obsessed with building the fire and I would have amazing progress and there would be actual fire. And then there's times where it was just like burned to ashes and I'm gone and I'm not even near the fire. I'm somewhere completely different. So that was really interesting to see in myself. And there's no coincidence that I'm here yet again reading Think and Grow Rich, which I did a year ago when I met you. And then I started to read it and I started to write my goals and get clear. And it's very humbling to acknowledge your cycles and just the patterns of things. And I think each time you recognize the cycle, you're getting closer and closer to the root of it. And finally, getting to that point of lighting the fire big enough to where you just burn the whole cycle and you genuinely do the thing that was placed into your soul, into your heart. And then from that point, it's like a different reality. So this call was very profound for me and right on time. So I'm very grateful. And it's just very amazing to witness these cycles. And I know you understand. So yeah, I'm very grateful.
Well, and I love your awareness of it. And what typically happens is that sometimes, when we say, well, we got to start with a clean slate. And sometimes it's a relationship that ends or we physically move to a new place, right? We will usually expand our capabilities when we don't have to define ourselves to those around us. It's why people jump network marketing companies. They come in and it's the excitement of, oh, there's new blood in here and you're somebody new that's inside their organization and they love you and they treat you. They don't know that you've done this 5 times over. They know you've got 5 times experience, but they don't know that you've just hemmed and hawed and played in the sand and never got out of the sandbox. They get excited. This is it. And your excitement from their excitement, and you go on and you go and you go and you get going and you get going until average shows up again. Average catches up with you. Mm. So when you moved to these new locations, when you went to far off places in the world, they didn't know you. You were this goddess who came in. There was no expectation. You exceeded their expectations because they're like, oh my God, I don't know if I could move all the way across around the world and blah, blah, blah. And now you're back in Miami where everybody knows you and you've got to deal with that frequency. And the only thing that you've got to become aware of is nobody knows me. It's if you show up as Selena, you're stuck. You're instantly stuck. And then you got to build through that and you got to dig out of that hole. Yeah. You can show up as Selena, but it's a different frequency. It's a different vibration. Oh, could you help me? I wish I could. This is where understanding third party, blaming the third party, finding the common enemy. I wish I could, but my mentor said, I can't do that stuff right now. I don't care if it's go to the store, pick up dog poop. You just blame somebody other than you. Oh, I don't do that. Well, you used to do that. I don't do that anymore. Sorry, I can't. Maybe on Thursday I will. Thursday on any day that ends in a Z, I'll be happy to help. There's no day that You got it. You're a fast learner. And that's the challenge. When you're back in this environment, you're back in all of these things. How do you know? Let me ask you this. How do you know you're back in the similar? How do you know you're back in Miami? I mean, I know it sounds like a crazy question, but how do you know you're in Miami?
Because of how I feel. Well, not how I feel, but
Because the sign said so when you landed.
oh, that, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because you have this, you took that feeling with you to whatever parts of the world unknown you went to.
Yeah.
This just happens to be a Miami feel, but the sign said, now feel this way. Are you living in an address you've lived at before?
Yes.
So
Unfortunately.
how do you know you're living in an address you've lived at before? Because the sign said so.
Yeah.
And so you have all these signs that say, this is the place you were average. This is the place you left. No, this is the place you're building.
Wow.
That's the shift. When you shifted from, I don't know where I'm at, and this place don't know me. When I got here to the ranch didn't know me. Nobody here knew me. They're still wondering how I exist, because they're like, when they do get to know me, they're like, you're odd. You've always been odd, but now we know you're odd. They don't know me. This is how I've always been. And that's the funny thing, is that, were you like this in Dallas? I'm like, how could I not be like this in Dallas? And for most people, that's not an issue. That's not a question. You got your Dallas life. You got your Little Rocky Creek Ranch life. You got your, when you travel to Europe life. No, I'm the same all the time. I don't let my personal reality determine my personality. My personality determines my personal reality. And when you shift into this and you answer your hero's journey, your personality will determine your personal reality for the rest of your life. Nobody can piss you off. Piss me off. Who try? You know how mad I've made myself? You can't even get close to that. You can't tick me off. You can't get me excited. Maslow said to Wayne Dyer, be independent of the good opinion of other people.
What do you think about how your environment shapes you? Obviously, our mind, our sense of self, our inner world is more powerful than the outer world.
Is
But
it?
what about those parts?
You
To a certain
can't have it
extent,
both.
yeah.
You can't have it both ways. You can't just say what you said and then say, well, but there's something that could change it. Bullshit. There's nothing that could change it. Why? Who? To what? I'm only good up to this point, and then when dogs start barking, I get really. I lose it. I have no control. You can't say that. That's
So
a programming.
the shift to going all in on one side is just a decision, or is there like a deeper release or psychological
So you've
experience
already
that you
made
have to go through?
you've made the decision. You haven't eliminated the distraction. And the white hot burning desire eliminates any distraction. Imagine you had a force field that everything they threw at you just vaporized before it ever got to you. That's what a white hot desire does. You find God forbid, yesterday, right? I talk about things that can't happen. You find your mom passed out on the floor. Are you worrying about whether the dishes are in the sink? Do you even see them?
No.
No. See, what happens when we have a white hot burning desire, we literally get tunnel vision.
Yeah.
The reason most people who have experienced a crime can't recognize their assailant is because the brain disassociates. And the instant that pattern is wired into the brain, is recorded in the brain starts to dissect it and starts to disintegrate it, because it doesn't even want to remember it. It wants to disassociate. So if you've experienced anything of trauma, the brain has it recorded. It's wired in your brain. The reason we can't remember it is because our brain is trying to disassociate it from us. So everything that you have about this goal and about who you become when you acquire this goal and how you're going to be this witch on a broomstick, because it's all about you and you're taking care of you. And why aren't you taking care of me? You just got back. Why are you not taking care of me? You should be taking care of me. You've been gone forever and I don't even get to see you now. Right? Anything like that ever happened? Have you heard words like that since you've been back? So my point is that when you have this white hot burning desire that has a frequency, that has a signal of abundance for all around you, they seem to let you go. It's when the abundance is only for me, but I don't want it just for me, but it's got to be for me, and it's got to be all about me. With that signal, nobody really wants you to go do it because they're not a part of the journey. Well, how do I shift that? It's your signal. You've got to be about abundance about them. You've got to let them know, hey, listen, when you left, did you just leave and not leave anybody a note? Did nobody know where you were when you left Miami?
No, I communicate.
You communicate. So communicate here on this next journey. You're leaving. You are literally leaving. When you go build your program, you are leaving to take care of your program. You're still in the same house. You're like, I don't you just seem to be in your own. Anybody ever hear this? Drop a W if you've ever heard this. You seem to be in your own world.
My friend used to say I'm in Selena land when I was like very much in my purpose and creation.
So when you're in Selena land, they feel left out. You got to let them know you're going to Selena land. They can come. Visiting hours are from 7 to 7:02. They can come. They just, when they show up in Selena land, they got to be they got to follow the rules of Selena land.
Yeah. And state plays a big role in that because
The
I've
only role in
noticed,
that.
yeah, when I'm in state, my vibration is feeding everyone around me. So I don't need to do anything else besides be in state and create. But I'm trying to create and be in purpose, but my state is kind of shaky. It's like everyone's the enemy. I'm the enemy to everyone. It's just like this huge resistance.
So part of your daily intentions is, I love how everybody is in my favor, in my corner, and working with me, no matter where they are in the world. Those are your intentions. You get to set the stage, young lady.
Yeah.
We all get to set the stage, and the challenge is we don't set the stage, and we wind up at the dinner table, and we're like, what the hell is this crap? I got anxiety, and I got frustration, and I got their BS. Why is there BS on my plate? I went and helped a buddy yesterday morning. He said, we're doing flushing on the sheep, which is a process of taking embryos out of a sheep. They have eggs in and putting them in and donating them to other mamas. I'm like, okay, I'll be over. He says, yeah, we're getting started. This was at 5:30 in the morning. He says, we're getting started here in just a little bit. And he says, we'll probably only be going a couple hours. I'm like, okay. So I get over there, and as in typical fashion, they got started a little late, but we went to almost 1 o'clock. And I went to go watch. I'll help, but I was physically hands-on. We're flipping sheep, we're doing stuff, we're this, that, or the other. And I just do it. Love to do it. I learned more than I could ever imagine. Guy who does it, Matt's a genius. Anyway, we're getting ready done, and everything's done, and it all worked out great, and everybody was happy. Everybody's got all 10 toes, 10 fingers, and the sheep are all working. He goes, how do you do it? I said, how do I do what? He goes, you just show up, and we got it done, and now you're leaving. I go, do you want me to stay? He goes, no, you know what I mean. I said, I really don't. I said, I'm not sure what you're, he goes, how do you show up, do all of this, and say thank you, and you go back to your place? I said, because it's who I am. You've known that. He goes, I know that. I know that's who you are from the very first day I met you. How do you do that? I said, very well. Why do you ask? He's like, no, I mean, really, I want to know how you do it. I said, it's not how, brother. I said, it's why. He says, yeah, maybe that's a better question. Why would you come over here and do this? I said, because I get to. He says, all right, I'm done talking to you. He says, I owe you dinner. I said, okay. When you become who you are meant to be and just show up as that every day, it's when you start putting on titles where your life just falls into just a basket of chaos. I got to be this to them, and I got to be this to them, and I got to show up there. When you take ownership of who you are, what you are, why you are, when you are, everybody wants to be around it because that's what everybody's seeking. And until you have it, even if they're with you, they're going to be seeking it from somebody who's got it. Well, how do I get there? Start. You got to start today. You got to start right now. What's your word for the day, Selena? What's your word for the day?
Doing.
Why did it take so long? I love you. See what happens? This is because we don't have our word. Mine's joy. Ask me tomorrow, joy. Ask me the next day, joy.
Doing and joy.
Yeah, I can have joy in doing. I can have joy in not doing. I can have joy in praying. I can have, right? If we elevate the thing, and because doing is strategy, which is why you're struggling in your world. You're not in Selena world because you're in strategy world. When you're in joy, I'm going to be Selena-ing, right? I'm going to be Selena-ing as a strategy of state.
I hear you.
Can we dream bigger dreams that allow us to be able to cascade all of what we have to everyone we have? You're going to go to the store today. You're going to go to Publix. You're going to go to the store. You're going to go somewhere. You're going to go something. You're going to get gas. Who's going to be excited to watch you doing gas? Maybe. I mean, you walking to get the mail, people are going to want to watch your doing, but those aren't the people you're going to want to be around. Yeah, baby. Woo! Shake that tail feather. Go do mail. It's because you're a beautiful woman. That's not what you want. You don't want them to watch you doing. You're bigger than doing. Now you got to do, but that should be under a bigger umbrella. Should be, could be. So now what's your word for the day?
It would be joy.
Could be joy, could be peace, could be bliss, could be anything.
Yeah, just the being genuinely happy.
Yeah. How about genuine? Could you genuinely go get the mail? Could you genuinely pump gas? Could you genuinely, right?
Yeah.
Be attractive in the world? Could you genuinely give somebody the evil eyes and they like, oh, I ain't looking at her, right? You could do whatever genuinely. You could genuinely do anything. We're allowed to have that level of freedom. Joy allows, I could be joyfully pissed off. I could be joyfully mad at somebody. And I have been. I can be joyfully mad if Gizmo whacks me with his horns and puts a knot on my leg. I do my best to avoid it. But he's Gizmo. He's Gizmo. He's going to do it. If the babies come, Anura comes and she nibbles on me. She's like a puppy. She wants to flee you and she nibbles. And so every now and then she'll nibble and it'll be a pretty good nibble. She's a good nibbler. I can still enjoy while she nibbles on me and it hurts. That could be, ow, that joyfully hurt. Nobody else has a little Anura who nibbles on. It's the best in the world. Scars are stronger than the sword that made them. And when we understand that, you can get scars all day long. They got to go from a wound to a heal to a scar. And most people aren't healing their wounds. Who wants to be joyfully around a festering wound?
Yeah. And I think it's also important to not overanalyze things.
No, really?
Fun fact of the day.
Fun fact of the day. Somebody write that down. That's utopian knowledge. If everybody could learn that. What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Let's see. I learned that I have what I need and I just need to be it and do it. It's not that complicated. It's not that serious. And I learned the importance of the wisdom in the book of Think and Grow Rich, and that it's something you have to encode in yourself. You have to become the book. No matter how many times it takes you, like reading it and applying it, keep doing it, keep reading it, keep becoming it, and don't stop until completion.
So It may make sense now what I've always said. Read the book till it reads you.
Yeah.
And that's what it's doing now. My dissertations on it, you're allowing the book to read you, because every one of you is getting something different out of it. I'm getting something different out of it. It's the same book, it's the same words, but when it reads you, when it starts to trick all of these notes, listen, here's the first book. I'm just scanning through to see where I see my, because this was when I was still growing up. So there's a mark I have. There's a mark I have on it. That's not even, I haven't written in it. Let's see. I don't even know if I wrote in this book because this was the first book, but I was raised with, you don't write in textbooks. And this was a textbook. And so I'm just looking to see, I don't have anything underlined. I don't have anything highlighted. There's got to be somewhere in here, but maybe not. But when I learned, okay, here we go. In faith, right? So it took me 3 chapters. Talk about how people can really visualize, give some examples. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. Now that I have underlined. You can't really see it. Get up here. I got it boxed.
Mhm.
Right? And that was me just going crazy in the book. Versus now, where I've got all of these little tabs. So
Yeah.
tab, right? Now all of this stuff, and there's all underlines and all of this stuff and all of that.
Yeah.
So
As a scholar, there was a preacher at my church and her Bible looked just like that. And that's basically you just studying success and purpose. Yeah.
yeah, that's Think and Grow Rich. This one
Yeah.
I've got. How many of our own truths have we stopped ourselves from seeing? And this is when I was getting really serious in the Sixth Sense. I've got them underlined in different colors, and I was using a ruler to keep them nice and neat. Anyways, so
I would like to share one more thing.
yes, please.
My brother actually gave me Think and Grow Rich because he read it when he was like 22
Yeah.
and got into real estate and made like $300,000 in 2 months and like completely changed his life and moved into this amazing apartment. And then and he wasn't a reader. That was like the first book he actually read
Right.
and then never read it again. And now obviously is not in that same, hasn't been in that same state for years.
Wow.
Yeah, but every time he sees me reading it, like he'll like my story. He doesn't really talk to me about it, but I definitely am like planting a little bit of those seeds by keeping this book alive. But it changed his life. But it's so interesting that he never went back to it. And he left the book at my house, so now I'm reading it.
So here's what happens. Because it happened so fast, 300K in 2 months isn't a lot of money, but it's a lot of money if you didn't have it. And in 2 months, what happened was his identity shifted so fast, he didn't have the foundation to allow the new identity to stay. So therefore, his success became a crime scene. And it's easy to see why he went back to his old pattern. So what I would offer you is say, hey, listen, just send your brother a text saying, I got to brag on you today. Thanks for being my big brother. Is he your big brother or little brother?
Big brother.
So say, hey, thanks. I got to brag on you today. And that's it. And let him go, what'd you brag about? Think and Grow Rich. And just let the story weep from him. Don't give him a reason of resistance. Just always open end. We're talking about Think and Grow Rich, and I'm reading your book. Thank you. That's it. Because his old identity is now said, you never deserved any of that. And now he's living every day how he never deserved that because he doesn't have it. So therefore it's not there, and nothing's going to change that. And he'll be stuck there for a while. On Jim Rohn's favorite word, until. Yep.
Thank you. This was amazing.
I love it. Glad you're back.
I'm so happy to be back.
And by the way, you never left, but I'm just glad.
Yes.
I love it. There you go,
Thank
ladies and
you.
gentlemen. I love it, love it, love it. This is as fired up as you all get, as excited as you all get. I can promise you, I get as excited, if not more, because it's sinking in, it's working in, you're getting it, right? It's like watching a seed pop out of the garden, go, no, it's going to be a redwood tree or an oak tree or a tomato plant. I don't know, but it's this green thing coming out of the ground. I'm not even sure what I planted. Is that cool? I love it. Thank you for being amazing souls in my life. I'm forever grateful. And I'm your head brain training. Let's go get some Desire Misfit. I'll see y'all where?
At the next
At
event.
next
At
event.
the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura
Pura
vida.
vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydia.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us. You and me and everyone around us. And the queen of helping us desire ourselves to the next level, Jessie Lee Ward.
Bosley.
Bosley, we love you, girl. And a little white fluffy fluff.
Gurgly.
Gurgly.
Molly is getting so big this morning. She walked into the bedroom and she can put her head on the bed and she doesn't have to jump up or nothing. And I just felt this nose like inches away from my face. And I'm like, oh God, please, what is that? Because I know she's big, but I didn't realize she had gotten that big for her to just rest her head. I'm like, what is that? And she wasn't wagging her tail. She wasn't doing nothing. And as soon as I opened my eyes, I could hear her tail wagging, her body. Molly, you scared the heck out of me. And she's like, ooh. Anyways. I love you tons. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now,
Thank
Z's.
you. Have a great day. Love you guys.
See y'all. Take care.